A declaration has come from Balochistan. It is bold, it is provocative, and it has simply become the latest headache for Pakistan. But it's also a diplomatic test for India. A section of Baloch nationalist leadership has declared Balochistan an independent nation and has appealed to Delhi for diplomatic recognition. No country has, not yet, but the timing is explosive. Pakistan's army is fighting insurgents on multiple fronts and struggling. Baloch leaders are appealing directly to India for support, and this comes even as Pakistan-occupied Kashmir continues to burn. Is Balochistan's independence recognized? What does it mean for Pakistan and even India? And what happens if Pakistan's military decides that the easiest distraction is a terror attack inside India? But let's start from the beginning. Baloch nationalist leaders have declared independence from Pakistan. They call it the Republic of Balochistan. The announcement came from activist Mir Yar Baloch. In a post shared online, he declared that Republic of Balochistan's defense and security forces have secured 85% of Balochistan's territory. He announced that Balochistan had adopted its national anthem, Maa Chuki Balochani, introduced its national flag and established its own currency, the Balochi Falus. Sure, Pakistan still holds constitutional control over the province. Under international law, a declaration alone does not create a nation. But symbolism matters, and this symbolism has set alarm bells off in Islamabad. Balochistan is the latest province of Pakistan by the size of its area. It covers nearly 44% of the country's landmass, yet it has barely 6% of Pakistan's population. But geography is only part of the story. Balochistan sits on vast reserves of natural gas, coal, copper, gold, and rare minerals. It also hosts Gwadar port, the crown jewel of China's Belt and Road Initiative, and the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Recently, Donald Trump announced a critical mineral initiative in the same region after his talks with Munir and Shehbaz Sharif. Balochistan also works as Pakistan's gateway to the Arabian Sea. And that explains why Islamabad has never treated the province as just another administrative region. It sees Balochistan as central to Pakistan's economic future, energy security, and military strategy. For China, the stakes are equally high. Billions of dollars have already been invested in infrastructure linked to Gwadar and CPEC. Continued instability directly threatens those investments. This Balochi declaration did not come out of nowhere. It came after days of bloodshed. On the 4th and 5th of July, coordinated attacks hit Pakistani security forces across Balochistan. The Baloch Liberation Army and the Pakistani Taliban were both blamed. 38 security personnel were killed. 4 civilians died too. One attack targeted a police station at Mangidam in Ziarat. 9 policemen were killed there. 18 more were abducted and later found dead. Militants briefly seized the town of Changhai. Pakistan responded with Operation Shaban, a massive counter-insurgency push. Army, Frontier Corps, police, air support. The government said dozens of militants had been killed. The numbers kept climbing through the following days. But Balochistan is not the only front where Pakistan's Field Marshal Asim Munir and his men are struggling to keep order. The residents of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir have also declared rebellion against Islamabad, openly pleading for help from across the border to end atrocities by the administration and the Pakistani army. Pakistan's military is stretched thin, not just in Balochistan and POK. There is unrest in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, also massive tensions along the Afghan border. Indian watchers warn that this matters directly for New Delhi. A cornered military, they say, that is about the Pakistani military. They say that a cornered Pakistani military will look for an external enemy, not to win but to distract. Pakistani generals, without evidence, have accused India of backing Baloch and Pashtun separatists. India denies this completely, but that accusation could become the excuse for a flashpoint in the near future. That is why the timing of Balochistan's declaration is not just a local story. It could shape India-Pakistan tensions for months to come. So what does India actually do? Officially, India has never recognized the Baloch independence movement. Delhi has, however, raised concerns about human rights violations in Balochistan at different forums. That is as far as India has gone. India is expected to hold that line. A quiet diplomatic engagement, no formal recognition, using the moment to highlight Pakistan's internal instability without directly involving or getting involved in the conflict. The reason why India will avoid it is that full recognition of Balochistan as an independent country would cross a line. It would invite retaliation. It could be used by Islamabad to justify escalation, even war. But staying completely silent has costs too. It could look like India is abandoning a movement that is explicitly asking for its support. That is the tightrope that India now walks between principle and provocation. In the end, Balochistan is no longer just Pakistan's internal security problem. It has become a geopolitical fault line involving Pakistan, China, India, and the wider international community. Pakistan is tightening its military grip. China wants stability to protect its investments. Baloch nationalists are seeking global legitimacy, and India is watching every development with extreme caution. The Declaration of Independence may not have changed international borders today, but it has certainly changed the conversation. The question now is no longer whether Balochistan is unstable. The real question is whether this unrest will remain Pakistan's internal conflict or evolve into South Asia's next major diplomatic confrontation. And if that moment arrives, which side will India choose? This is Times Access, where global stories meet India's perspective. Click on the bell icon to subscribe because the next big global shift will have India at its center.